Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. This is Brenda Miller. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in New Jersey, and I have my weekly quick class for you. So this is quick class number 29. You can see the whole series of 29 videos on my YouTube channel, should you be interested in some of the other things that I've been offering. But today we are going to work with the new Zoo Crew suite, including the Zany Zoo stamp set and dies, which is the bundle. And we are going to make a very fun easel card. And I'm kind of excited about this. I saw the easel card made by Dawn Olszewski, and I really liked what she did with it. There are lots of different ways to do easel cards, and I haven't done one in a while, but once I start making them, everything starts looking like, and it should be an easel card. So today we have that. So I'm going to pop over to my desktop so that you can see exactly what I mean. So here we go. It's a little slow today. My goodness. There it is. Okay, so here is our very fun little easel card. And when it's closed, it looks like this. And when you pull it out of the envelope. And then when you open it, it pops up and stands like that. I'm going to tip it up to the camera just a little bit. And if you're wondering where you would write on this card, well, on the back, we have a blank card. I'm having a little bit of a delay today on my video, so it may seem that I take some pauses, and that's just to allow the video to catch up. Just kind of strange, don't know why. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to make this. But before we do that, let's go ahead and look at the Zoo Crew Suite. This is on pages 46 and 47 in the catalog, in the new catalog, 23, 24. And you can see where there are a whole bunch of different animals and some designer series paper. And let's flip it over so that you can see in more detail what we have. So the designer series paper is up here, and you can see there are animals on one side of the paper, and then on the back side are different black and white designs. Okay, and all of them are super useful. Even if you don't like the whimsical little animals, you can certainly use the black and white. I know that I use it for a lot of different things. It's great to add a little bit of something to a card, especially like when you're dealing with these little speckles, little polka dots, always good to have. The one thing I want to point out is that on each of these papers that have the animals, each page has a different animal that you can actually cut out. So there's usually 6 of the animals in complete animals, like sometimes you see here, they kind of go off the edge. This little hippo, you wouldn't get a full image of him, but oh, that's not one of the ones you cut out anyway. But anyway, each of them has one of these cute little guys on there that you can cut out, and then the rest can be fussy cut. A lot of people like to do that. I am not one of those people. You will not see me do fussy cutting unless I absolutely have to. Part of the suite also includes this ribbon duo, and you get 10 yards of each, which is very generous. So that is great to work with. They're a little on the thinner side too, so they're fun to work with. And then down here we have the bundle. As I was talking about, here's the stamps. So not only can you cut out of the paper, but you can actually stamp them and then cut them out. And then it also has a bunch of different dies that can be used for a lot of different things. So let me show you those. So let me pull over. So whenever I can, I like to keep my dies inside the coordinating stamp set, okay? And I just have it on the same piece of paper that they come with, but you'll see here that we have the little animals. These are all the little animals that you can cut out, and it's hard to see because they're upside down and backwards, right? But you also get a balloon, you get a little flower, you can make a little vase. You can make a stage with curtains, and there's a little stool for the little any of the animals to sit on. In particular, the turtle. We're going to see the turtle today, and you'll see how it works. And there's even a little tree that I think looks like a Christmas tree, right? So, oh, 2 trees. Sorry, 2 trees. and then some more little flowers. So this set has a lot of fun things. There's a cloud here, a bigger flower. But the two pieces that I really wanted to point out were this scallop edge. And it's nice. It's a nice straight scallop edge. I don't think we have another one like it currently in the catalog. We've had definitely had different types of scalloped edges, but I love to use scalloped edges on my projects. And then also this little banner. It's the perfect size to put a little sentiment. So when you punch that out, when you die cut that out, you can stamp in the middle, or you can layer them to make a fun accent for your card. So anyway, we're going to just use one of the little guys. And of course I did not do that already, so you're going to have to wait when I cut that out, when I get to it, because I wanted to show you how that goes. So I'm going to pull over some of the designer series paper. And here you can see these are two different sheets. One features the alligator on a bicycle, which you do have a die for in the set. Okay, and I use the reverse side for the card, and you'll see how I do that. But then for die cutting out an animal, all I'm going to do is take my little turtle over here, right, and lay down the coordinating die and hop over to my my die cutting machine and cut him out. So let me just do that really quickly. I meant to do that before, and somehow in all my checking of things I did not. So I don't have my die cutting machine on camera because it shakes the whole table, and I just I can't deal with that. So just I'm coming right back. So all right, see, that did not take long at all. Here we go. So we have him cut out of our designer series paper. Okay, so now that we have our little turtle, he's kind of the feature of the card. And I love the musical notes and everything else. That also, you'll see, we will be using that. So let's go ahead and use, I have pre-cut a bunch of pieces here that we'll use for our card. But for an easel card, you're going to start with a piece of paper that's cut the long way. So this is 11 inches this way, and it's 4 1/4 inches this way. And then we're going to score it at, you can see the score lines. This is at 5 1/2. This is at 6 3/4. And then this score line over here is at 8 7/8. In addition, I put a little mark, and I just did a little bit of the scoring in the center of this 4 1/4 inch wide piece, because I'm going to cut to a diagonal. Okay, and let me show you why. So if you look on the inside of the card, you can see that it has this point. Okay, so we want to make that point, and the way that we do that is I make a mark at 2 1/8, and then I'm going to cut from that point to the very first score line. Okay, so let me show you. Very simply, you pull out your you pull out your paper cutter, and you can do this on pretty much any paper cutter, and you want to line up your score line to the cutting edge, and then just turn it enough so that you get that point, that little mark. You get that little mark. My video went out a second there. And then you're just going to cut, and so that you end up with one side of that point. That's one. And then we're going to turn it and do the same thing on the other side. So here we go. And here we have our point. Hooray! Okay, and it's as simple as that. So in order to make the card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half and give it a good score. I'm going to fold it backwards, give it a score, and then go this way and just give it a nice press. And so to assemble the card, what we're going to do is we're going to glue this first. I'm going to use my regular adhesive for this. Okay, and I'm just putting a line on the inside, and this gives what some people call a book bind, because the card, if you did not score it in the middle, it would open kind of like a book, right? So we're going to adhere that, And then we're going to start applying our designer series paper. So the first piece is the polka dots that I have, and this is cut at 4 inches by 1 1/8 inches. And I'm just going to use some regular adhesive, and I'm going to put it right on top of where we just glued it down for a book binding. Then I'm going to take a 2-inch by 4-inch piece, and this, remember, is the other designer series paper that I showed you. Different animals on the other side. This is the one that has the alligator on a bicycle. And we're going to just lay that down here, lining it up. And then for the other piece of designer series paper, this is also 4 inches by 1 1/8. We're going to take it and we're going to put it here, but we're going to use dimensionals. And the reason that we use dimensionals, and I'm going to use the edge of my dimensionals because I seem to have gotten to the bottom of this one, and I'm just going to put it right in the middle. You could put 2 or 3 if you wanted to, but when we do this, watch what happens. Because it's sticking up just the littlest bit, and I'm putting that right at the bottom, that point can then rest in there and not pull on it too hard or anything, but it makes it stand up. So that is what that is for. Okay, now the next piece we're going to do is a piece of 3 by 3 basic black. We're going to use a square. And I'm just running over to my side of the desk to pull one out because I, of course, did not do that either somehow. I have the banner day here. Thought I was all ready. So it's just going to be cut at 3 by 3, and that is the same dimension as that point. Okay, remember we said the point at the center? I'm going to go ahead and adhere it to this, to the point. So I'm just going to put my adhesive on the piece with the point, and I'm going to take my square and lay it down so that it's edge to edge and it fits perfectly. Okay, so there we have it. Okay, so that's the basis for our easel card. Now we're going to just do a couple of little details, a little bit of stamping over here. So let's take, I'm going to use my Memento black, tuxedo black ink pad and a couple of stamps, and I wanted to put a background of musical notes, okay, just like is on the DSP. Look at the DSP we took it from, it has musical notes in the background, and they are the same as the stamp has. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put those on, and here we go. And I'm just randomly adding them, and whatever shows. One thing I did want to do is put my message, happy birthday to you. And so I'm going to have to put this, you know what, let's start over. I meant to do this, stamp this first. Okay, so I want my happy birthday to you to be, let's see, remember we're working diagonally too. This could be a really great fail if I let it, but we're not going to let it. Okay, so now I'm going to put my cute little musical notes. And of course, this could be used on any musical card, which so it's always good to have musical notes in your repertoire, I think. I have a musician or two in my family, so we'll be definitely adding these two cards. Let's go off the edge up here for one. All right. So now we've got our musical notes as our background, and it's nice because we can just use a small piece of paper, and we're going to take our little turtle who is singing happy birthday to you, and we're going to put him on the card with a dimensional or a piece of dimensional edge, which is what I'm doing here. Okay, I'm going to put him on. Now, to me, I wasn't sure that that was enough for this card. It could be, it could have stopped here, and I'm just going to use my regular adhesive to put this onto that square that meets the point. Okay, so here we go. We now have that on there. But then I thought, boy, I've got all these cute little animals that are on my designer series paper. So what else could I do? So I decided to take a look at them and I decided I could punch them out. Now we have 3 sizes of punches now. They are not all currently available, but they will be shortly. They'll all be back in stock. But we have 2 3/8 inches, 2 inches, and 1 3/4 inches. And I'm going to use the 1 3/4 inch one because I already looked at this. And I'm going to punch out this little guy playing the flute, piccolo, whatever you want to say, this little froggy. So here we have him. And this is a great way to not have to fussy cut. So as I told you, I don't like that. I don't like fussy cutting. So here I have our little beaver, right? Beaver has a tail like that. You know, these sets are really stretching my knowledge of animals. It's not very good. Same thing with flowers. I just don't know what all these flowers are called. But here we go. So now we have 2 little animals that I'm going to then add to my card. Now I want to make sure that they don't hang over where they shouldn't. So I'm going to put one guy over here, but I'm putting my adhesive on here to make sure that it doesn't end up closing the card. It doesn't take much to put the circle. Oops, got to put it down a little. We want to see the whole happy birthday to you. Okay, so there's one. And then I'm going to put this little beaver up here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my adhesive there. Now, you might think we're done, but we are not. A little more to do with this card. So, anyway, that's cute. And there's like a little band playing and singing happy birthday to you. Hooray! Okay, so before we're done, we need to use a little finish, right? So here we have our black and white ribbon, gingham ribbon. And what I'm going to do is cut a piece, and I'm going to this is my infamous tie a knot at the top of a loop, but I'm just tying a square knot as I hold the bottom in a loop. Some people wrap the loop around a block. That is a great way to do it. I've just gotten used to doing it this way. So now I have the knot at the top of a loop, and then I'm just going to cut that loop in half, and I'm going to put this on the card and adhere it to the back. Now I could put adhesive on the front. I don't like to do that. I feel like it I don't know, it just doesn't seem right to me. Sometimes it ends up laying funny. People do it to keep it from laying funny, but I don't like to do that. So you can see that I have that adhered back here. Okay, so I'm making sure I'm not putting this down. All right. But what I want to do is on the back of the card, I want to add my piece of white cardstock. And here we go. I'm going to add a little bit more adhesive because there's still a little bit up where the ribbon is, but that's not enough. And I'm going to put a little extra because this is going to end up being the bottom of the card if it's ever on display. So here we go. We have our piece, and this is where you can write, and you can you're covering up the little edges and you're not wasting your ribbon. So here we are. We have our little easel card. So it's really very easy to do. I'll put the dimensions of all the pieces in the comments on my YouTube channel, and I'll also put it on my here we go. My screen went black. That was weird. But I'll also put it on my in the comments of the Facebook. Okay, so that you can see that and remake it. And I just want to show you another card. This is from a class I held last week, our milkshake, share a milkshake card, share a milkshake class. And this is how I started with this. And so isn't that cute? So we have a milkshake. It's really kind of like a sundae, and we use the Countryside Inn DSP for this particular card. So just another easel card, and you can see a lot of times easel cards are done in a different direction. There are lots of different ways that you can make the easel, but this is how I chose to do today. So I'm hoping that, let's see, that you learned about the Zoo Crew suite and the Zany Zoo bundle. It's a mouthful. And if you have any interest in that, you can shop for it on my online store. You can go to brendamillersu.com, and that can take you to a link to shop. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at Brenda Miller SU at optonline.net, and I will put that in the comments as well. And I hope to see you next week. We'll be back. Thank you. Bye-bye. And broadcast.